Hi Flosstube, it's Lori of Mischievous Stitches. It is Sunday the 17th of September. I'm back this week to tell you about my weekend getaway, show you my update on my whips, and show you a few things I've been gifted and a couple things that I've purchased this past week. So I'm going to start off with my whips. I haven't worked very much on my needles and pins this week because I did have to do a little ripping out of my stitches, but here I am as of today. And this is stitched on 36 count Luna 1/2. I pictured this plush fabrics. I'm using the called for DMC threads. And this week I have found with this pattern that the pattern itself is printed very small. So unless you've got really good eyesight, you will need to make copies of this pattern and enlarge it. I have not gotten around to that. And because of that, I have made a mistake this week because there are two symbols that are very similar in this piece. One of them is a cursive W and a printed W. And those colors are found in the strawberries and the smaller berries. So the printed W, I believe, is in the larger berries, and the smaller berries, and the cursive is in the larger. So what ended up happening with me is that I made a mistake and I used this darker color red in my smaller berries where you see this more faded. So my new berries had a darker, riper color to them. So I did spend a night this week pulling out all of the stitches in the small new berries and replacing them with the correct red. There's also another color that is in the pattern that I did not have a problem with, but it is an O, and there is a fine lined O and a bold printed O. And one of the colors is a blue and one of the colors is a green. And I did find that if you had used that I think the bolder color, that some of the leaves around your new berries are going to be blue instead of green. And that's the only reason I caught that. So if you're stitching this, just beware that there are two W's and two O's in that pattern. That way you'll keep them straight and not make the mistake like I did. But I do enjoy this piece. I look forward to finishing this up and working on it. I also started a new piece last Sunday for Santa Sunday Stitch Along. And it is a Little House Needleworks Baked Goods. I didn't get a whole lot done on this, but I did give it a good start. And I will put a few more stitches in it this evening. Maybe the pie, maybe the cupcake. But I enjoyed working on this last weekend. And I have it in my new bag that I was gifted last week. So thanks, I'm putting it to good use already. And I started a new piece on Thursday night because I was going away this weekend on a stitch trip. And I wanted something that was kind of mindless, that I could handle well, that you could get distracted but yet find your place easy or your mistake easy. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. It is Halloween Night by Imaginating. This piece is getting to Mama's eyebrow. This is where I am. And as you can see, oh, that's my back. See those threads right there? Right before we got ready to leave yesterday, I found a mistake. And I had to go back and pull out everything, basically, that I had stitched yesterday and Friday night. So Friday morning, my friend Dawn the New Stitcher, which she does not want to be referred to as Dawn the New Stitcher, she is Dawn Did It, and just so you know, Dawn did do it. But Dawn and I took off to just north of Atlanta to visit with our friends Donna and Debbie of D Squared. We had an amazing time. We arrived, and when we got there, Donna and Janet Coker from Instagram was sitting on the front porch waiting on us to get there. We had texted when we were a few minutes out, and shortly after we arrived, Lorraine from Rags to Stitches USA arrived, and shortly after her, Diana of It Is Kismet arrived to the party. And I will make sure that I link all of them below, all but Janet, who does not have a Flosstube. But I will link them below in the description box so you can all link to their Flosstube videos. Just had a wonderful time. Donna and Debbie are the hostesses with the mostesses. We all kind of worked together on dinner. They had dinner plans, and we all popped in the kitchen and did our part to make a fast pace, getting dinner completed and eating and getting everything cleaned up. And then we all brought snacks, so we had plenty of snacks. Lorraine had brought things for us to do a little craft, and we did sugar scrubs scented with essential oils, which I had never done that before. That was really fun. So we all got to bring those sugar scrubs home, and then we sat down and just started stitching, and we laughed, and we told stories, and we laughed some more, and we snacked, and we laughed some more. I had an amazing time. Dawn and I stayed over that night with Donna and Debbie, and we woke up yesterday morning, and we headed to Canton, Georgia, to the library there, to a stitch get-together that was hosted by Lynn, and there were, I would say, around 25, 30 ladies there, maybe. Lots of laughter, lots of stories, lots of stitching, just lots of fun. I had a great weekend. If you've not seen it, on Friday night, Donna and Debbie filmed a video of us all around the kitchen table, just a few questions, and they did show what they had both been working on this past week. If you've not seen that, I will make sure I link the video below. I believe they titled it Slumber Party, so that you can all take a look. Just a great time, a great weekend. It was worth the trip. I know the trip there is about 2.5 hours for Dawn and I, and it took, we teased that it took 6 hours, but we made many pit stops and just enjoyed our time together. I love road trips, but I also got a few gifts this weekend, and one of them was this from Dawn. She knows my love of turtles, and she said it was hard for her to give this up because she really liked it too. It is a thrifted turtle, but it is a frog, so that I can put my embroidery scissors in there. So I'm very happy to have this. And talk about scissors. I know if you've watched Donna and Debbie at D Squared, you have seen the scissor collection of Donna. What you have not seen is her craft room. Oh my goodness. If you don't, if she doesn't have it, I don't know who does. It's just an amazing space. It's amazing use of organization. She has a cutting table. She has a computer desk in there to order all those new finds she needs to purchase, and just lots of bins with patterns and kits and works in progress and scissors and fobs to match the scissors. Just an amazing space, and I love seeing other people's stitch rooms and plundering, exploring the stitch rooms to see what I can find. But just a great stitch room. Other gifts that I received was I got a rack in the mail from Miss Lana of Till the Last Stitch, who I will link her below as well. She saw that I was going to make doilies with curtains using doilies, so she sent me a few. This is the largest, and this will work perfect on the edge, maybe, of the curtain. And the other pieces she sent, look at this lovely thing. And I was thinking, you know, as I laid these out on the floor to try to see the ones I already had, that I would need some smaller pieces to fill in the gaps between the larger pieces. Well, Miss Lana was already ahead of me. She knew that I was going to need that, and that's why she said in her little card that she sent the smaller pieces. So thank you so much, Lana. I'm very appreciative of these pieces, and it makes them extra special that they're from you. I was also, I didn't put that piece away. Let me put this piece away. I was also, the evening before dinner at Donna and Debbie's, they showed us their framed pieces that are hanging on the wall. And in Debbie's bedroom, she has some beautiful pieces, samplers hanging on her wall. And one of them was this, the Ship of Life. I already had made a mental note. I wanted this piece. I had asked her the name of the piece. I had planned on going downstairs and hunting it online. And I just mentioned out loud how I love it. And my friend Diana says, "Oh, I've got it. I'll bring it to you tomorrow." So I have it. Thank you, Diana. And look, I've already chosen my fabric. This puppy may get a start tonight, but this is 36 count Fallen Leaves by Leslie of Under the Sea Fabrics. And I will link her below as well. She's also a Flosstuber. If you have not seen Leslie, she is a Flosstuber, as well as she has an online site for her fabric purchases, as well as a Facebook page. So Diana, I may give that a stitch tonight, or at least pull the threads. I also, since last week, finished up my Mill Hill box for this piece that Jacob showed you. This is Boo by Mill Hill. It's an older kit. And I followed the finishing directions for the sleigh from Foxwood Crossing, Morning Star Santa, where you use the stitcher's tape on the back of your perforated paper piece, and you're pretty much just taping this down with double-sided tape. So you can't even see the lip. So I painted the box and I waxed the box. And this is the box itself. Now I did decoupage fabric on there. And I did also Pinterest some boxes, trying to find something that would work for me that I liked. I'm not in love with my box. I'm in love with aspects of the box. I'm fine with the top. I'm not crazy about the decoupaged fabric. But I really do love the look of this. It was a lime green that I had chosen to use, and it was a little too lime green. And so I just dabbed the sponge into some of the black paint. And I love the look of that. And inside I just used the leftover paint that was in the plate after I painted everything else. So this is my finished box. Mill Hill Boo. Just to give you another designing or finishing option. So now I have a FFO instead of an FFF, a far from finished. I also got this weekend from Lorraine of Rags to Stitches USA. She gave me some Darlene Osteen this weekend. So there's this Just Cross Stitch magazine, and the front cover piece is by Darlene, as well as the white work sampler, the silk sampler, and the county thread sampler. I love those colors. She also threw in the Sheepish Designs, the McCarthy sampler. Thanks so much, Lorraine. I look forward to stitching these. You were awfully kind. Just to give you an idea of some of the other things that Darlene has to offer, she has some of them listed here. And some of these I already have, like this one. I'm really itching to stitch this one next year. Or this one. One of those two will go in next year. And Donna contacted me last week after my last video where I showed you that I had purchased this magazine as part of a Just Cross Stitch Christmas magazine bundle. there was only 2 things that I wanted out of that bundle, and this is one of them. Then when I got the magazine, the pattern for the stocking was not in it. I looked through it 3 times. I could not locate it. I was so disappointed, and I commented on my last video. Well, Debbie goes and locates it, and the reason why is it's a pull-out. So it's attached to the center of the book. It's a pattern that can be removed and used to stitch the item. That's why it wasn't there. So, just so you know, when you buy some of these older magazines, you may want to ask the seller, is the pattern for whatever it is that you're looking for there before you purchase it. The other thing is, someone had commented and said, yes, this is a Mary Beale sampler stocking. There were 10 in this series, but someone commented that she has a website. She does. These sampler stockings are listed there. There are 10, and they tell the story of Jesus on it. You know, each one is a portion of the story. So if you're interested in those Santas or any of the other designs that Mary Beale has to offer, just go to her website, and I'll try to make sure I list that below as well. So thank you for loaning that to me, Donna. I will be stitching that. Also, in my last video, I showed you a cinnamon stick Santa sampler. I got a new one in. I did order this one, and I ordered it for this piece here. And it says, I will honor Christmas, let me turn it this way, in my heart and try to keep it all year. I believe that's variation from something Tiny Tim said in Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. But I really love that. And the Santa above him on the sleigh on the towel. But there's several great designs in this pattern, and I purchased this. But what led me to that piece was buying this one. Now, these are both homespun elegance pieces, and I've bought several in the past month. This is my favorite one so far. I get up this morning, and I'm on Facebook, and I find that Sandra Sullivan, who designed these pieces, that is designer of Homespun Elegance, has re-released, or is to re-release, this piece. So for all of you that said you were going to go out and look for this, or are looking for this sampler Santa, she is re-releasing that pattern, and I have to say kudos to her. I would much rather my money go to the designer of the actual pattern than $50 or $40, whatever a sampler is going for on eBay, go to a seller. So to all those designers out there, when you see that there's a demand for a pattern, this girl would much rather pay that money to you. Not only is it cheaper, let's be honest, it's cheaper when you guys throw it out there, but you designed it. You deserve the credit and the money for your sampler, your piece, your design. So kudos to Sandra for seeing the demand and re-releasing. This is not the only one. She did release a few more in the Cinnamon Stick Santa series. So go check that out. I'll try to find where she has it listed. I'm not sure if it's Etsy or a website, but I'll try to find it before posting the video. Make sure I put it in the description box so you can link to it. And I also got a few books, and one of them, the purchase was inspired by McKenna. She showed this book on her video before last, and I really liked one of the things she showed. And one of them was just this eagle, our nation's, you know, one of the icons of our nation is the American bald eagle. Now this one is not a bald eagle, but it is an eagle. I really like him. He's been working on his abs, his chest, but I like him. But this is the reason. Now this book was very cheap, but she had showed this, and for my sampler year I would really like to stitch this mansion sampler. Love the colors. I'm not crazy about the frame, but the sampler itself, I really like this. There are other samplers inside, and I'm not going to go through all of those because McKenna has done a great flip through of this book. If you want to take a look at that, I will try to link that episode from her Flosstube channel for you to do so. But this is the McCall's book of America's Favorite Needleworks and Crafts. And Hedgerow Stitching, is it stitching or stitches? I will link her below. Her recent video, she had bought a few books, and one of them was I believe, the Gallery of American Samplers. And I went out and searched this down before I finished watching her video and ordered this because next year's my sampler year. What better reading could I be doing that year than learning more about some of the samplers that I'm stitching, or the samplers of America as I'm stitching those samplers. And when I showed several videos back, there was a magazine, I think it's Treasury of Needlework or Needlework Treasury, that had the Dutch sampler, one had a Spanish sampler, an English band sampler, and an American sampler. And the American sampler was very similar to this sampler. And when I posted that video, I remember a comment from Simon Stitches that said he had seen that sampler in an episode of Antique Roadshow. After getting this book and just kind of perusing a little, I don't believe it was that sampler. I believe this is just a style of stitching, because this sampler is very similar to the American sampler that is listed in the Needlework Treasury. And like I said, I may not be saying that right, but their magazine. I really look forward to stitching those samplers next week. And this week, Persnickety Stitcher and Granddaddy Beck did a video, and he and his wife had collected samplers over the past years, and Melissa had a few of her own, and she was taking them apart and just kind of telling you the process and what she found as she was taking them apart. And I will say that I find that part interesting, to see what people used behind them to have them framed. Also to be able to see, you know, the tones that we see in the samplers, the antique samplers, are very muted. And most of these were stitched by young girls. And we all know young girls are going to, you take them to a thread shop and they are going to pick the brightest colors, the happiest colors there. So when they pull these pieces apart and you see the back, I love to see the colors, the original colors that were chosen. So I look forward, I've already started this book and read a little in it. I look forward to reading more, and I will just give you a quick show of the other two that I got. This is Historic Samplers, and it is selected from museums and homes, historic homes through the U.S., and it's just, you know, it does have patterns inside, and this is just one of the samplers. But there are several patterns inside to stitch the samplers, and they're in color. Excuse me. I did get one more book. This one is going to be very interesting, but the problem with this one, it's an older book. Excuse me one more time. This is an older book, and the samplers are in black and white. That is the only thing I dislike about this book. But I do believe some of these, because they are historic samplers, I may be able to find them online if I want to know more about them. So this is American Samplers by Ethel Stanwood Bolton and Eva Johnston Co. So that'll give me a little bit of reading for my sampler year. I would like to give a quick shout out, and it is to Cherry Blossom MJ on Instagram. She has 3 little ones who requested that she subscribe to my videos, and I just want to give a shout out to them and tell them thank you for watching. I'm glad they're enjoying my videos. Apple Blossom, the Princess, and the Rascal, you 3 are amazing. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're watching, spending that time with Mommy, and I hope you'll have a great weekend. Other than that, I think in this coming week, I think I will work on my baked goods for for today because it is Santa Sunday or Santa Sunday XS, and I will probably work a little more on my pins and needles piece. So until next weekend, everyone have a great day. Enjoy your Sunday. I hope everyone has a delicious Sunday dinner. Take care, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.